Hi Gemini, welcome to your super blue moon total lunar eclipse at 11 degrees of Leo on January 31st and the week that follows until February 7th. Whew, it's Rena here. Okay, so this is a very interesting time, isn't it? You may have heard about this eclipse coming up, which is a very powerful full moon, and for you, this is happening in your third house, which you actually rule. The house of communication, the house of education, the house of your siblings and other relatives like cousins, I don't know what other relatives, the house of your local area. A lunar eclipse in this sector can bring something to a head that involves you kind of like being very aware of something. So let's say you've had a long-running battle with siblings and it comes to this head and then you discover something. Maybe you discover something about a sibling that you never got along with that happened to him or her and you just like, wow, I didn't know this. And all this time I had this animosity towards you and I was jealous of you and I didn't realize what you were going through and why you were acting the way you were acting. It could bring out revelations. It can bring a sense of closure, maybe. If you, let's say you're thinking about moving and you still are attached to where you live, which is your local area, and you just feel this sense of connection to it. And then you have this moment of clarity or illumination and you realize, yeah, you know, it is time to move on. And you can make peace with it. It's not that big of a deal. And this could even be like internet related. You might have a video that blows up that just like goes viral. So anyway, what I'm going to be doing is picking a card from the classic Rider-Waite deck for this lunar eclipse along with a Keepers of the Light Oracle and then doing a simple 3-card spread with my Morgan Greer Tarot deck for the week that follows. The exact same card I got for Sagittarius, the sign I just did, your complementary sign. Okay, this is in reverse, so I look at the bottom of the deck and then I turn it over if it's upside down. Because when I picked it up, I hit it on its side, and I had a fear that they would be all upside down. So that's my rule. Wow, some of the same cards I got. Well, you know, that one was a card I got like Sagittarius. I always pick an extra card when I get a card like the Five of Cups. Okay, so for the eclipse itself, I have a feeling that Geminis are going through career issues too, or money concerns, because I did get this one. But anyway, the Four of Pentacles is a card of very shrewd money management. Sometimes you can see the guy, he's really like just cradling that gold coin. So it can indicate clinging to money too much. Maybe excessive concern about money for some reason. And I'll get into the tarot portion of this. This is for the eclipse. Let me think here. So you did have a full moon. See, that's why it's a blue moon, because we had a full moon at the beginning of the month in Cancer, which is a sign after you. So it's possible that back at the beginning of 2018 that some Geminis had a loss to their income in some way, and maybe that's making you cling even more tightly to your money and maybe being a little bit too fear-based. The Holy Spirit says, expect miracles. Remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. So we're going to look at the full explanation. I'm going to read from this book. See what it says. According to the spiritual text, A Course in Miracles, the Holy Spirit mediates or meditates between illusion and truth. It's the essence that allows us to move beyond the illusion of fear or the illusions that our fear has created. It's the holiest light of truth and love that we can ever experience, an aspect of our truest self, the self that's never separate from God. When it appears in a reading, prepare for the miraculous. Expect the unexpected. Expect miracles. A real turnaround is possible now. Angels are dancing around you. Leave behind thoughts, memories, and feelings that are no longer serving you. This would be one of them. Move in. Oh, I'm sorry. And remember the love that you are. Move into your heart and allow that love to shine out into the world. Then miracles can happen. So if there is any kind of financial concerns, you have to have faith. I know that sounds like a total cliche, but, well, you know, you've heard that saying, pray and get your feet moving. I agree with that one, even more so than just having faith, you know, vague faith. But I feel like, you know, pray and get your feet moving, but also trust in the process. Don't get so caught up in what you perceive is the truth of your situation that you deprive yourself. If you're like with the Four of Pentacles, you may have money saved in the bank even if you're in between jobs, and you could afford certain things, and you're like depriving yourself because of your fears. And of course you don't want to be foolish, but at the same time you don't want to give in to those fears. So looking at the week that follows that eclipse, and by the way, the fact that that Holy Spirit card was for the eclipse, that the eclipse energy is faded energy. So a lot of times it can feel like it's coming out of the blue moon. So allow, it may not be on January 31st, it may be in the coming months, but be open to it. That's the main thing. So we have in the past position the Hermit card in reverse. For some people, you may be dealing with a Virgo individual or somebody with a strong Virgo personality who is causing you problems, or just you're not in alignment with them for some reason. Doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, could be a boss even. Actually, that Four of Pentacles could be describing that person as well. And the other thing about the Hermit in reverse is you may be like shunning spiritual guidance in favor of, you know, and even saying things to yourself like, that's just a bunch of crap, you know, feel-good crap. I need, you know, this is about reality. And being like, turning away from meditating, or at least having that guidance from wisdom rather than the world. And now we have here the Six of Pentacles. So this is what I was talking about at the beginning, where you may be looking at your finances. If you're working for someone, you may be saying, I deserve better than what I'm getting. And you don't feel that it's fair. You see that the person's holding up the scales and they're looking for what they can get that reflects what they give. There's nothing wrong with that. And actually, a lot of times, the people that keep their mouths closed and they allow themselves to be taken advantage of, they feel very bitter about the situation. And this can be also in personal relationships. Anytime that you feel like you're giving more than you're getting, and I'm not talking about 50-50, but just where it's just that blatant, where the other person is, you know, it can even be that you feel the other person is using you for money, and that's why you're holding on even tighter to it. The outcome is the card of grieving a loss. Now, you may have, if you're somebody who likes to watch tarot readings, and before I started doing this, I really enjoyed doing it, and I enjoyed all kinds of readers. All kinds of readers. It wasn't just the ones with the most subscribers or the ones who seemed the most professional. I really got a kick out of some of the people that had very small channels, and even who seemed they were doing it on their bed, you know. That's the kind of person I am. I don't discriminate. I think that people offer wisdom in their own way, and I think that we can learn from anyone. And a lot of people will point out that there are 3 cups turned over with liquid spilling out, but there are still 2 remaining. And he has his back turned to those golden cups that are remaining. So what it means is don't cry over spilt milk. This looks like blood or wine or, no, like blood or something. But anyway, it's supposed to represent disappointment and grief. Okay, grieving the loss of something. But in this particular case, you may have dodged a bullet. You may come to the realization around the time of that, in the aftermath of that eclipse, that something is not quite right in a relationship or even in a work situation. And you may even feel like you've been wronged, but look at the bright side. You may have been freed from a degrading situation. And I picked a clarification card, and we have strength, the card connected to Leo. And strength is self-explanatory, but it's not just, you know, when people think of strength, sometimes they're talking about physical strength. And of course, we're talking about cultivating inner confidence. Because when you do so, you will, waiting for that freaking whatever it is to go by, you will, if you cultivate an inner strength, you're not shaken by every wind. And nothing outside of you is going to throw you off your path. And you won't be like, lose your sense of alignment with your destiny. Because think about how many people, they have some setback, and then it's a downward spiral. And it leads them into more and more negative circumstances because it becomes their reality. Holy moly. That's so loud, you know? I live by the trains, but this is ridiculous. So, anyway, this could also be related to a Leo, and it's funny because there again, that's the sign that the lunar eclipse is in. So maybe that will be a turning point for some of you, this eclipse. And I certainly hope so in a good sense. And I hope you enjoyed this, Gemini. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have an awesome week. Take care. Bye.